Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. I am Yasir Hussain from Pakistan Studies Department, Army Public School and College, Ordnance Road. It's lecture number 7, and today we will discuss about Cripps Mission 1942 and Jinnah Gandhi Talks 1944. In the previous lecture, we have discussed about Pakistan resolution in detail, the background of the Pakistan resolution, then the presidential address of Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Then we discussed about the text of the Pakistan resolution, which was passed on 23rd of March 1940, and then the reaction of the Hindus and the British leaders and press to the resolution. The objectives of our today's topics are to discuss the proposals of Cripps Mission 1942 and the reaction of the political parties. Describe the Jinnah Gandhi talks and causes of its failure. Dear students, our first topic today is that of Cripps Mission 1942. As you know, in 1939, World War II broke out between the two powers, Allies and Axis at that time. In the early years of World War II, the British had to face military setbacks. Therefore, they need support of India at that time. So in order to get that support of the Indian political parties, a mission was sent in India. The British government sent that mission headed by Sir Stafford Cripps, who was the member of Parliament and Cabinet. Cripps discussed different matters, internal matters, and the whole situation of the subcontinent with the major political parties like that of All India Muslim League and All India Congress. He tried to unite all the political parties on certain points, and the main purpose was to get support of the India in World War II so that the British may win the war. Therefore, he discussed all these matters with the political parties in India. But before that, in 1940, the Muslims had made demand for Pakistan through Pakistan resolution. Likewise, the Congress had launched movements against the government and in order to get freedom from the British. Therefore, the end result of this whole mission was that the Cripps mission unable to succeed, and it failed, and the Cripps had to go back. But definitely he brought a number of proposals which we will discuss. Stafford Cripps discussed his proposals with the leaders of India, both Congress and Muslim League, but both parties did not accept its proposals because of a number of reasons. These proposals are the Cripps proposals. Some of the proposals which are included in your syllabus are over here. These include, number one point is, after the war, that is the World War II, की बात हो रही है, the subcontinent will be under the crown, but the British government would avoid interfering in internal as well as external affairs. So it is offer from the British government that we will give you internal autonomy as well as external affairs autonomy as well, but you will remain under the British crown. So that was the first offer of this proposal. Number two is that defense, foreign affairs, communication, etc., all these sectors will be handed over to Indians. So it is again to give them more and more internal autonomy. It's a step towards self-governance, which was the demand of the Muslim League, which was the demand of the Congress. So that is the second point. The third point and the fourth point, these two are very important and very near to the Muslim League's demand, but it was not clearly mentioned for a separate homeland. Therefore, it denied and rejected these proposals. We will read this. What is the proposal? There is the number 3 point is the members of the provincial legislative assemblies will elect a central assembly for framing the constitution. After the constitution is made, it will be sent to all the provinces for confirmation. The provinces which would not approve the constitution would have the authority to establish their independent status. So it was on the provinces that whether they are going to approve the constitution or not. If they would not approve the constitution, then they can establish their own independent status. So it is related to the Muslims' demand of a separate homeland. The Muslim majority areas can announce this thing, and they can establish their own independent statuses. Number 4 point is appropriate steps will be taken for the security of minorities. As you know, the Muslims were minorities in India. Therefore, again, it is a very good proposal regarding their security in India. Now we will discuss the reaction of the political parties on these proposals of the Cripps. First, we will discuss about the Muslim League and Qaid-e-Azam's reaction. Some points about minorities suited All India Muslim League, as I have mentioned earlier. Point number 3 and point number 4 was suitable for the Muslim League. But the demand for Pakistan was not clearly mentioned. Then, therefore, Muslim League refused to accept these proposals. After long deliberations, Qaid-e-Azam and All India Muslim League refused to accept these proposals made by the Cripps, and the main reason for this rejection was that the demand for Pakistan was not clearly accepted. As far as the reaction of the Congress was concerned, it also rejected the proposals of the Cripps, and they disapproved the authority given to the provinces to reject the constitution, because Congress was not ready to accept any proposal regarding partition of the subcontinent. The Congress demand was definitely independence from the British, but it never wanted the partition. So therefore, it also rejected these proposals straight away. Now our next topic is that of the Jinnah Gandhi talks, 1944. Dear students, you should know some background of these talks, that why these talks were started. As I mentioned earlier, that the broke out of World War II in 1939 resulted in the weakness of the British government. Therefore, sensing that weakness, the Gandhi of the Congress started a movement against the British and in favor of the freedom from a British government, that was quit India. You will have to quit India and leave us, and we will establish our self-government over here in 1942. And definitely in Quit India's movement, mass protests were erupted in whole of the subcontinent. Therefore, the British government jailed Gandhi in 1942, and he remained till 1944. For 2 years he was jailed. From the jail, he realized that alone the Congress cannot achieve the goal of freedom from the Britishers. So he started contacting Qaid-Azam through letters over here. In reply of the Quit India movement of Gandhi, Qaid-Azam also announced the movement of a divide and quit. It is very important because Qaid-Azam was a very wise leader. Therefore, he knows all these things going on at that time, that if the Britishers at that time just quit from India without partitioning the subcontinent, then Pakistan would be a dream. Therefore, divide and quit movement was announced by Qaid-Azam. Dear students, as I have mentioned that Gandhi wrote a letter to Qaid-Azam and wished for a meeting from the jail. Gandhi actually wished to discuss political issues of the subcontinent. So in reply of letter, Qaid-Azam wrote to him and proposed a meeting in Bombay. So the meeting was held in September 1944. During the meeting, they decided to exchange letters instead of face-to-face meetings. And its purpose was to preserve the record of the viewpoints of both the parties. But Gandhi also did not accept himself as a representative of the Congress. Qaid-Azam definitely objected on it and stressed on the representation of the two nations. Otherwise, the talks would be meaningless. So, talks started on the point of Pakistan resolution and two-nation theory. But Gandhi rejected the two-nation theory. He refused to accept this theory. Qaid-Azam was aware of the intentions of the Gandhi. As you know, Qaid-Azam was a great statesman and his communication skills were very strong. Therefore, he also remained steadfast, and he again stressed on the partition of India, and the demand of Pakistan was the ultimate goal, he mentioned. Therefore, the talks failed as both the parties were steadfast in their own point of views. Students, you can read the words of the first letter written to Qaid-Azam by Gandhi in July 1944, and other things we have discussed here on the textbook. As far as the proposals made by Gandhi to Qaeda-Azam in the talks is concerned, as Gandhi was not supporting the two-nation theory, but still he said if Muslim League wanted to put Lahore resolution into practical form, this issue should be delayed. So he was actually expecting that Qaeda-Azam should delay this Lahore resolution or the demand of the Pakistan, so that India will be liberated as a single state. And then after achieving this goal of independence of the united India by both Hindus and Muslims together from the British government, then it was later it will be mutually decided by the Congress and Muslim League about the issue of Pakistan. So the intentions were very clear over here. Qaeda-Azam was aware of it, that what actually Gandhi wanted at that time, that he wanted only the liberation of India as a united India, and then after that definitely he will not settle the issue of Pakistan. Therefore, Qaeda-Azam rejected it. So in his reply, Qaeda-Azam said that the style adopted by Gandhi is nothing but cheating, hypocrisy and cunningness. He emphasized that British must settle the issue of Pakistan before the freedom of India, because Congress and Hindus could not be relied upon. So the talks were failed, and Qaeda-Azam conveyed a very clear and strong message to Gandhi about the partition of the subcontinent and the demand of Pakistan. So now that's it for the today's topics. Now a recap, let's have a recap of these things. Two main topics we have discussed: the Cripps mission 1942. We discussed about the proposals of the Cripps mission, then the reaction of the political parties, both Congress and that of the Muslim League. Then we discussed about the Jinnah Gandhi talks of 1944, in which the proposals made by Gandhi and the reply of Qaeda-Azam was discussed. Dear students, now the task for today is that again you will have to read and highlight the page number 23 to 25, these two topics. Learn by heart the definitions, the concepts you will have to understand. You can underline with the help of a lead pencil and so on. Then you will have to write the answer of these two short questions in your notebooks. These questions are: number one, narrate 3 proposals of the Cripps mission. Any 3 proposals you will have to write. Then question number 2, what was the reply of Qaeda-Azam in Jinnah Gandhi talks in 1944? So that's all for the task for today. Now, thank you for listening to the lecture. Now just try to complete your tasks in time and send it to me. You can ask any queries in the group. Stay safe. Take care. Allah Hafiz.